Good evening, Council. We'll call this June 8th regular meeting of Council to order. First, before we begin for 2.1, I just want to pay my respects to our Secwepemc colleagues, partners, friends, family, following the discovery of 215 souls at the former Kamloops Indian Residential School. And I was hoping you'd all join me in a standing moment of silence. Thank you, Council. And with that, under 2.1, adoption of this evening's agenda. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, any additions? All in favor? Carried. Item 3.1, adoption of the May 25, 2021 regular meeting of council be adopted as presented. Councillor McLean, Councillor Blanchette, any errors or omissions arising? Just one housekeeping I noticed under my report, probably due to my typing skills. It said MPA, Shirley Bond, should read MLA, Shirley Bond. My fat fingers. Other than that, motion to adopt. All in favor of adoption. Thank you. Carried. We do have correspondence for action under 6.1 from the Valemount Community Forest and the Valemount Industrial Park for a request for a shareholder meeting to be held on June 22nd. The recommendation here is on June 22nd, 2021, prior to the regular meeting of council. What is council's wish? Councillor Blanchette? Councillor Pearson, discussion? You noticed from the correspondence that Mr. Pryor is not available that week. Is there any appetite or is there any feedback from administration for when we could perhaps hold a special meeting for that? To ensure that the manager of the community forest and the industrial park can be at least present?
Well, he did state that he would be able to attend remotely during that date. However, if council would wish another date, that's up to you to decide which date you would like.
Remote's fine, eh? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Reading file. Anything out of the reading file folks would like to highlight? Councillor Blanchette?
I'd like to congratulate the Valemount Senior Citizens Housing Society and the Valemount Cares Committee and Rashminarian especially for all the hard work and countless hours. They've been successful in getting their grant, and I think it's fabulous. So big, huge congratulations for all of them.
Yep. Ditto.
Yep.
Councillor McLean?
I would like to address the dust on dogwood, item 8 on the list, which is, of course, a letter from Max Kim and Helen Park. It's quite a lengthy letter about what's going on over on Dusty Dogwood, as it has been referred to as them. It's quite a good letter detailing their obvious great concerns. And I wondered if we could get an idea on what was being done about that.
Sure. So prior to receiving the letter, village administration had been speaking with Public Works about having dust control performed on Dogwood through the new highways contractor who is going to be preparing to do that work sometime in the near future. So we are looking for that to happen. We're also looking to apply the product Rhino Snot. Sorry for the name, but that's what's referred to as, to landlock. Okay, well, it's more than one name, I guess. So we'll be,
You're on.
yeah, we'll be applying that as well. Just a reminder that it is a product that requires a certain stretch of dry weather for us to be able to apply it. That's why it was not applied last year as planned, because, well, for pretty much a 30-day period, we didn't have more than 24-hour period go by without rain. So it was an exceptionally rainy season. We're hoping to be able to do that this year, and we're targeting to have all of this done by July 1st.
Follow up?
Sorry, does that include the landlock product to be, do we have a forecast or?
We don't have a forecast for the remainder of the month, but we are looking to do that. Public Works has already been speaking. So the superintendent has already been speaking to the rest of the staff. So this is something that we are anticipating to do before July 1st. And just as an aside, we've also spoke to the RCMP and asked the RCMP to set up roadblocks in that area in order to deter speeders and to catch those who are speeding through that 30-kilometer-an-hour zone.
So it's not a speed trap or a roadblock. Okay.
It won't be a roadblock, it'll be a speed trap,
okay.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Just hope people adhere to the speed restrictions on that road and keep the dust down,
We get good weather.
and we get good weather.
Yep.
It's kind of flip a coin, forest fire, dust, forest fire, dust. But I think we're fairly moist right now on the forest floor. Anything further, Councillor, out of the reading file? And are you satisfied with those remarks from administration?
I am satisfied with those remarks, and I'm very glad Councillor Blanchette brought up about the Valemount Senior Citizens Housing Society, BC Housing decision, because I was going to bring it up as well. I think it's fantastic, and thank the whole CARE committee and Rashmi for all their hard work.
Absolutely. Anything, Councillor Pearson?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to echo those remarks as far as on the BC Housing decision. As a board member with Valemount Senior Citizens Housing Society, a huge thank you to Ms. Narayan for her work, spearheading, getting all the paperwork and everything in order, and working with the Valemount Cares team to get us to where we're at this position. It's pretty exciting news. So.
Very awesome. Councillor Blanchette?
Are we thinking of meeting with the Premier for UBCM?
Wasn't really, I hadn't put any thought to meeting with the Premier.
Okay.
I did send out a bit of a synopsis of what you had already presented to, or you wanted. You didn't get a PDF for me?
No?
Did everybody else in the room get one?
Okay. All right.
I'll
If you can just
send it to you
resend.
again.
Okay.
Put it in Word format and PDF format, so if you wanted
Okay.
to add, take away.
Okay.
Did you not get it?
Yes.
Oh.
But I have another, I changed my mind. I want to do another.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, by all, sorry, were you complete with your reading?
Yeah,
file?
I'll look at the email and we'll go from there.
Okay, and it also covers number 2 with Minister Osborne.
Yeah. Okay.
Councillor McLean.
I wanted to pull the meeting with BC Hydro, UBCM meeting. I think it would be yet again another request to deal with the dust and the tier 2 rates. But if we can swing it, then we have to keep hammering it home. We need things changed here.
Mr. Administrator, can you give us a synopsis of where we are with the dust analysis that was supposed to be forwarded and combined and paid for by the province?
So the study that was performed by Hemera, that study has been received by the village and has been reviewed by myself, members of the province as well. And then it's going to be received by the Clean Air Task Force on the 15th, Once it's been received by the Clean Air Task Force, it will be forwarded to council for your consideration, along with a presentation on the 22nd. And a presentation, just for your reference, will also be presented to the Clean Air Task Force. So anyone watching from home would also be able to watch that real time.
And if we're not satisfied by that, Councillor, did you want to follow up with BC Hydro directly at UBCM?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Last call for the reading file. Under 8.1, we have a building inspection report to receive for May 2021. Councillor Blanchette. Councillor Pearson. Any discussion?
Nice to see that we're busy.
You know, it is construction season. Yeah. All in favor of receipt? Carried. Under 8.2, temporary use permit for Trans Mountain Project Contractor Yard for consideration. The recommendation here that temporary use permit number 21-01 for Block F of the southeast quarter of District Lot 7354, Caribou District, proposing a temporary contractor's yard be given initial approval. It's council's wish. Councilor Blanchette, Councilor G, discussion. You're happy with the conditions? All in favor? Carried. Under 8.3, we have a proposed development permit with a variance for a mixed-use building for DP 21-21 at 1451 Fifth Avenue.
I'm gonna step out as I'm chair.
Board, thank you. Thank you. 7:13. There is a recommendation here that council approve development permit number 21-01 at the property legally described as a Lot A, District Lot 7352, Plan PGP 32327 for the development of a mixed-use building with the variance to permit the following. Number 1, increase the building height to 12.8 meters. And 2, decrease the minimum parking requirement to 19 spaces. What's council's wish? Councilor Pearson. Is there a seconder? Councilor McLean. Discussion. Councilor Pearson.
Yeah, I'm happy that they've addressed my issues that I had with the parking situation. I find that a very creative solution that they came up with. But yeah, in general, that was my biggest concern. And yeah, look forward to see ground get broken. And
It is construction season.
it is that.
Any further discussion? Yeah, and to your point, Councilor Pearson, my drainage and the drainage plan would alleviated a lot of my concerns for erosion and particular snow melt. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. So you're aware the development permit with a variance has been carried.
Thank you.
9.1, under bylaws and policies, we do have a Village of Valemount Cemetery bylaw amendment to consider. And the recommendation here that the Village of Valemount Cemetery bylaw number 685, 2012, amendment bylaw number 846, 2021 be given first and second reading. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Pearson, discussion. Councillor Pearson.
Yeah, just a couple questions. So am I to understand this bylaw precludes a burial on any other day than a weekend? Is that kind of what it's saying, like through the chair to staff?
Love to have Ms. Shepherd come join us virtually.
Refer that to our Deputy Corporate Officer, please.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Councillor Pearson, can you just repeat the question, please?
Yeah, I'm just curious, the wording as for days for interment, the way I interpret it is specifying Saturday, Sunday, and holiday with approval for Sundays and holidays. So if the need arose, there could not be a midweek interment. Would that be my understanding?
No, you can have a burial any day of the week, but the current bylaw asks for written permission from the village for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday interment. And we're taking away the requirement for the Saturday because that's when 80% of our burials take place.
Okay, no, very good, thanks.
Satisfactory.
That was all for me, thanks.
Further discussion? Thank you, Ms. Shepherd. No further discussion. All in favor? First and second reading carries. Council reports. Councilor McLean.
I have only 2 items to report. On May 26th, I, along with the rest of council, met with MP Bob Zimmer. And on June 1st, I attended the Zoom council zoning bylaw input session. That's it.
Excellent. Councilor Pearson.
Okay, a little bit of a list this time. So we'll start May 26th. We had a meeting with consultant Stormy Lake Consulting for tourism governance discussions / workshop towards the transitioning the Valemount tourism towards a destination management organization. May 26th as well, met with Mayor and Council and MP Bob Zimmer for a nice discussion. May 27th, signage committee looking at signage and wayfinding benches and such for the village and the downtown core. June 1st, tourism committee meeting. That evening we had the Zoom session for the bylaw review, which was quite informative. June 2nd, sat in conference call for the Mackenzie Robson Valley Northern Interior Rural Division Primary Care Network Collaborative Call.
Surely they can come up with an acronym.
Well, I had to look up what NERD stood for actually, but and it's very interesting collaborative, speaking on staffing and trying to fill positions within the region that covers Mackenzie, Prince George, McBride, and Valemount. I feel somewhat short of initials after my name when I sit on that call, and everybody's got MDs and various letters after their name, but that's a good group and doing some good work there. June 7th, again, another meeting with signage committee looking at towards some final choices for products for signage and benches and garbage cans and such. And where are we? that gets us up to date. And then, excuse me, at this time, I would like to raise the issue of current events in the community regarding our ambulance service. We're really seeing a lot of public comment, and I mean, some of us have experienced it personally on our ambulance shortage and staffing. And I fully understand that it's not a village role, but unfortunately, we are kind of the first line of attack when it comes to comments and questions. So I don't know how our options are for addressing it, and being diplomatic about it, but I guess I would like to make a motion that the council and village draft a letter to the province and BC Emergency Health Services and see if we can get some answers, and even a presentation, a delegation to explain where we're at, what their plans are moving forward. We're in tough times here, as is every community in the province, unfortunately. But I think we see it a lot more as a rural community and stuff like that. So,
For a delegation?
yeah, a letter to and a delegation.
You're okay with that, Counselor? Yeah. Discussion on it?
I think we should reach out to the clinic, Dr. Markham and Kelty Barlow, and start from there and see about, and perhaps our ambulance chief, and start from within and ask some questions and have things explained to us. I don't know how things operate on a day-to-day and when we have an emergency. So let's ask the professionals, how does it work? And that will be aired, and then everybody will be able to also hear, we'll all hear the same information. And then they can advise us on next steps.
So if I'm hearing that right, you would like another delegation, or you'd like just a conversation?
Well, who are you wanting to have the delegation of?
BC EHS,
Okay,
BC
Okay.
Emergency Health Services.
okay.
I'm open to starting locally, but I think their answers would be somewhat predicated on what is coming down from.
To be informed of what we're doing, just so nobody's blindsided and all of a sudden somebody superior says, hey, we just got a letter from this council. So I think a conversation is in order first, just to let everybody in on what's going on and what the thoughts are and where this is coming from and why. I think that would be a good way to start. None of us like to be blindsided, right?
Well, I don't think this would be blindsided.
No, but I just,
The amount of attention that it's getting
I know,
during
but
this
we are-
council meeting.
we are a small community, and if we're going to start going right above everybody else's head and write a letter right to, then I just think it's a nice phone call, but is in order,
Well, I understand with the unit chief. I really don't think our clinic staff has anything to do with ambulance service and scheduling and stuff. I mean,
Okay. So,
that's a unit chief, and that they're their own entity.
okay, so you just want to have just the unit, ambulance as the delegation.
I think that's
Sure.
our biggest concern right now to address.
Okay, sorry, I was confused, so
Yeah.
that's fine, okay. Because the ambulance, don't forget, does work in tandem with the clinic, because depending on who is available at the clinic, the ambulance goes,
And
We
they're-
The
don't-
pager goes off, they go where they're told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need to see a bigger picture and put some added pressure. I mean, I would love to see this go to every council for support.
Okay.
Because this has been ongoing, this is not a new issue.
Yeah.
Being somewhat familiar with the situation, we had a core group here for many years that all retired pretty much at the same time, and there's no backfill. So now we're dealing with it.
Well, I would ask that we just give our unit chief just a heads up at a discussion.
I can have a quick chat.
Okay, yeah. He may have some ideas too, right, on which direction to go and who to contact and all the
Definitely.
stuff, so yeah.
Start there, council.
Good with that.
Further discussion?
Don't know exactly what it is you're asking to do here.
We're asking administration to organize a delegation from BC Emergency Health Services.
Okay.
Northern units. So it would be the superintendent out of Prince George. To give us the skivvy of the state of BC ambulance in rural BC, particularly Valemount.
And this is through a letter?
Yeah.
Okay. And then was there going to be a discussion beforehand with the local unit chief?
Yeah, I'll reach out to her.
And when you were saying a delegation, you want a delegation to council?
That's what you wanted, right, Counselor? Yeah. Clear as mud, Mr. Administrator?
I got the gist of it. Thank you.
There's it. It's not black and white, it'd be blue and red. Black and blue. Did that conclude your report to council?
That's all for me. Thank you.
All right. Counselor G?
I just have one thing to report.
Sorry, point of
Sorry.
order, we do need to vote on that motion.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the point.
Just have the one thing to report. June 1st, I attended the zoning bylaw input meeting. It was very informative. I also wanted to mention that June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It's not really a big fancy event. There's no festivals or anything, but if you have an elder or an older adult in your life, maybe take a few minutes and check in on them. It's been a long, isolating year for a lot of our seniors and elders. And quite often we don't see what's happening with them when they're, sheltering at home in a safe place. So just wanted to
Thank you
mention
for
that.
raising that.
Yeah.
Counselor Blanchette?
On the 26th, we had the meeting with our MP Bob Zimmer, and we discussed healthcare and prescription costs. And hopefully we'll get some answers or some action or something. All we can do is, like Councillor McLean says, keep hammering. And on the 26th, we had the Stormy Lake Consultant Tourism meeting. I was not able to come to the zoning bylaw, so hopefully I'll get an update. June 7th, we had the sign meeting. I really didn't understand how expensive a garbage can can be. Like, I just didn't realize that they make them and they cost $2,200. So anyways, we're looking at prices and benches, garbage cans, kiosks, all those things. And it's an eye opener, let me tell you. And we did have our elder care meeting on the 7th. And that's it for me.
I think I read in one of the funding announcements today, I can't remember the community, but they were ordering 22 or they had a variance of like 20 to 30 signs. And it was like $22,000 to $25,000.
Oh, yeah, it's insane. And if you can find a place that will let you have that many, like we're just trying to order, I think it's 15 garbage cans. And our EDO's having a hard time finding a place that will allow us to have 15 garbage cans. Like, you know,
allow us to have?
yeah, well, because they can't keep up with production, like
Oh,
they just can't
like
produce.
allow us to order
Yeah.
and to procure.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so, you know, he's pulling his hair out. Yeah.
You have concluded. May 26th, joined you all in an in-person meeting with MP Zimmer. 27th, CBT board meeting and concluded on the 28th. And then later on the 28th, I had an intro to and a conversation with the Northern Health Authority, Northern Interior Assistant Chief Operating Officer. He needs an acronym for that too. Greg Marr, a very nice gentleman. We met here at the clinic to discuss some staffing moving forward. On June 1st, with the expertise of Mr. Peters, I was able to record a message to the VSS grads, and then took part, or not part, but partook in the forestry intentions paper announcement by Minister Conroy, looking at what the future of forestry might look like in the province. And then had a emergency, I can't be all in it first. Something's wrong. Had emergency medical services briefing. This time around, it was just Miss Shepherd and I. Everyone else was fairly busy. So, and I'm not doubtful that they were. Had a tour of the VARS project. That was, that's coming along very nicely. Drywall is up. Most of the interior, most of the exterior is finished. I mean, still a ways to go with faucets and furniture and things of that nature, but it looks really good inside. Of course, joined you all with the zoning bylaw input session. Then on the 4th, I had a briefing with the Deputy Provincial Health Officer, Dr. Emerson, along with Minister Osborne from Municipal Affairs around the restart plan. Mr. Peters and I will be meeting later this week to do a recording for the June 15th and the July 1st restart. Not date dependent, it's vaccine rollout and daily case number dependent. This time around, it's very data driven. Then today I had a Valemount Emergency Medical Services briefing with Sergeant Dean. That concludes mine. Motion to receive. Councillor G, Councillor McLean. Any further discussion around council reports? All in favor? Carried. We have any public comment this evening?
We have no public comments.
Not proceeding in camera, so I'll ask to adjourn. Councillor Pearson. Thank you, Council.